In 1964, East Germany adopted the GFV 64, which is a multi-caliber belt loading device that can load 7.62 by 39, 7.62 by 54R, and 7.92 by 57, and can load AK mags as well. With the addition of a spacer, it can even load 7.62 by 51. The screwdrivers and cleaning brush were missing in my particular loader, and I've replaced them with aftermarket items. The loading adapters. Loading 7.62 by 54R into PKM belts. Use the 7.62MR adapter. It is possible to load 7.62 by 51 NATO spec ammunition from the feed tray with just making a homemade spacer to accommodate the shorter cartridge length. This was just made out of some magnets, plastic, and some double sticky tape, because it's not a load bearing surface, it's just a spacer. Loading 7.62 by 51. Note I'm using the Mauser adapter, which is marked 7.92. And you just use the first catch on the loader. That's adequate. Note the spacer's installed. And it's just a matter of cranking away. Loading 7.62 by 39 requires the use of the factory spacers M43 and M43 here. And if you're going to load AK mags, you use the M43M adapter. When loading AK mags, you want to make sure you start with the two red dots facing each other like this. This acts as a round counter, so you don't overload the magazine. So at 30 rounds, it'll kick the magazine out. Now note how the mag will get kicked out here. There, the mag is kicked out. The loader comes with two different adapters for RPD belts. This adapter and this adapter. I don't have any RPD belts to load, so I can't demonstrate the loading process. Unpacking the GFV 64Z2 accessory. Care should be taken when removing the pan from the storage box, as the edges can be sharp. Use all three leather straps when storing the unit to prevent damage to the unit or to the storage box itself. Setting up the chain drive for the pan feeder, I start with red dot down, then I put on the handle red dot up, which is probably the opposite of the way the handle should go. But what I find is as I'm turning the handle and I'm coming down is when the cartridge is being inserted in the belt. It allows me to be a bit smoother with the insertion into the belt than trying to do it pulling up in this direction, trying to load the belt. It just happens to be what works for me. Of course, the one thing you don't want to forget to do is put on the chain guard so you don't get yourself all tangled up. You simply do like that. And put the handle back in. It is possible to load all cartridges directly from the pan feeder, or alternate every third or sixth cartridge from the side feeder. The way one configures that is you simply remove this, and you don't want this the whole way down when you put it back in, otherwise it's likely to bind up. Put that to the side. Right now I have both spacers in on this side here facing the pan feeder, so every third cartridge is coming from this side. If I remove one of these and put it over here, that would be one cartridge out of 6 that's coming from here, or if I put both spacers on this side, everything strictly comes from the pan feeder. Loading PKM style belts. You first want to make sure you have the correct adapter plate in, which this is the 762 MR adapter. I have some dummy rounds here in this secondary tray, but I have set up the inserts to feed only from the pan feeder. I just put these here for demonstration purposes only. While it's not possible to load 8mm Mauser in the pan feeder, it is possible to load 762 by 51 NATO spec in the pan feeder into the MG3, MG34, and MG42 belts. All you need to use is the 8mm Mauser adapter, which is marked 792, and you just set up and load the belt like you would normally load for 8mm Mauser. There are two accessories available for the loader. The Z1, which is set up for 762 by 39 and holds a total of 18 cartridges on the feed plate. This one is the Z2 accessory, which is set up for 762 by 54R and holds a total of 14 cartridges on the feed plate. When storing the feed pan, you want to make sure you use the retainer plate. This comes up from the bottom of the pan and keeps the feed plate from basically falling off when you turn it upside down to put it in the storage box. The one accessory I didn't cover so far is the agitator for the pan feeder. Simply remove this screw, replace it, and then as you spin the feeder, it acts as an agitator to keep the cartridges from being stuck in a given location. The loader is very large, heavy, and versatile, loading multiple calibers. Also, with the capability of the pan feeder, can be very efficient when compared to the smaller PKM and MG34 loaders. The GFV 64 storage box artwork, the Z2 storage box artwork, the operation and repair manuals, space for construction materials, additional information on the loader. Thank you for watching.